This is what people think it's like before living in Texas, and this is what people think it's like after living in Texas. Today we're going to unmask expectations versus reality. First up on the list is space. Not everything is bigger in Texas. While we do have a lot of land here in Texas still to be developed, doesn't mean that everyone's backyard is going to be big. We get this conversation with many clients who move here. They just, I don't know, maybe they expect that our lot sizes are going to be larger, but they're probably just like from the state you're from. Sometimes we get people expecting to get an acre in the middle of the city or even one of the suburbs for $350,000, and that's just not realistic. You're gonna have to move to the country if you want a house for $350,000 on an acre lot. We can, like Frisco, Keller, I pulled up all the surrounding areas, and it's very difficult, especially in the hot suburbs, to find an acre for under $1 million. On occasion, I may see one for $600,000, $800,000, but typically if you want an acre of land in the city, you're gonna have to have a larger budget. If you are happy with living in the country, wonderful, you can get some acreage out in the country for $350,000. At the end of the day, it just boils down to what your budget is and how far away from the city do you want to be. When you mix those two together, that will determine the space you get. The second is vacation destinations. Expectations around this, you can't really drive. From DFW, you can't drive to some amazing place with at least, you have to drive at least 3.5 hours. So you can go north into Oklahoma, maybe go into the hill country, into Austin, but it's always at least a 3.5 hour drive. Anywhere else that's amazing, say mountains or the beach, it's 6 hours plus. You can be driving 12 hours plus to get a great destination. So with that, what's the reality of vacation destinations if you are living in Texas? It's DFW Airport. You can get to just about anywhere in the US in about 2.5 hours. DFW is a main international airport, and so flights are not always ridiculous depending on the season, right? We like to go to Mexico, so you can go to Cabo, you can go to Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, 2.5 hours flight, fairly inexpensive, usually under $400 a ticket. Sometimes you can get them under $300. Or you can fly to San Diego. It's fairly inexpensive, at least right now, or New York. So if you want to go somewhere in the mountains or beach, just plan on flying somewhere, not really driving. I mean, you can drive, but it's just a long drive. I'm thinking like a weekend getaway. You don't want to spend 12 hours plus in the car. The third thing is construction. So while we do get a lot of comments from clients that infrastructure here is really, really good compared to wherever they came from, it doesn't mean we don't have any traffic at all. There are pockets in DFW that definitely get backed up. And typically it's the city or new construction areas because it seems like they develop the roads after everyone moves in, probably because of property taxes. Next up, snakes. Before that, I have to introduce myself. My name is Dana Pollard, and I'm a real estate agent here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in Texas, and we specialize in helping you move across state lines. So if you are looking at moving to Texas, or if you have a house to sell, click the link below to schedule your one-on-one Zoom consultation.
It's a good thing I'm wearing boots today because this is where snakes like to hang out. Now, the three main types of poisonous snakes here in Texas are the copperhead, the water moccasin, and the rattlesnake. You don't see rattlesnakes very often. You really have to go to the country for that. But in the suburbs, you may see a copperhead. And if you're at the lakes, you might see a water moccasin.
Which leads me into the next one, which are wasps. So here in Texas, we love to hang out in our backyards, but I'm not gonna lie, as soon as you get a drink, you sit down to chill out, here comes a wasp. It comes out of the blue and it's like, oh my gosh. And then you have to jump up. You're scared to even hang out outside. So what we do is we get pest control. They're magicians, and they come along and they knock down all the wasps, because we just had one hanging up here on our back, whatever you call that, like just roof line. I've only been stung probably twice in my life, but I still don't like them. The other thing maybe would be ants, but again, we have pest control, so it takes care of our ants. But wasps and ants are probably the critters that are the most common here in Texas. When you talk about snakes, we don't see them often. When we talk about roaches, again, if you are maybe sharing apartments with people that are not sanitary, you may have to deal with roaches. But if you're living in your own single family home, you can get rid of them easily. And we never have to deal with roaches because we have pest control. So pest control is your best friend when it comes to critters and bugs. We do encounter spiders in our garage, so we have to clean our garage out on a regular basis. Otherwise, we will get spiders in the garage, but I don't see them in the house too often. On occasion, maybe a little one. But again, we have pest control, which helps out tremendously. Culture. Don't California my Texas. Are Texans really that hostile toward Californians? And what is the culture really like here in Texas? I'm gonna share with you what it's really like. We help many people move from California to Texas and from all over the US, but one of the fears of Californians moving here is that maybe you are concerned about how Texans are gonna treat you. I want to clear up this misconception that once you're here, they're not hostile toward you. But I can relate with fellow Texans in the regard of we don't want the culture of California moving to Texas, and so there's that big thing. So the culture that if you're a transplant from California, first off, they don't know you're from California. They get to know you, they love you. And then second off, they find out you're from California. It doesn't mean they don't love you. The biggest thing is that Texans want to scare Californians off from moving here because they don't want our state to turn into California. That's just the bottom line. But once you're here, they're very welcoming. We have people from all over the world that move here. It's kind of like a melting pot for all kinds of cultures. And then they kind of conform to the Texan culture of friendliness. We do have a friendly culture for the most part. But again, I have to set expectations appropriately. Not everyone is friendly, but the culture at large is friendly. So that's what I love about Texas. But don't be concerned if you're moving from California to Texas. I don't even think you have to pry your license plate off, because I know that some people are, concerned about driving their cars here and they have a California license plate. Are they going to run me off the road? We've had many people who move here and they were concerned about that, but they were not run off the road. So I just want to put you at ease. Don't worry if you're moving from California to Texas. Just understand the mindset of Texans, especially those who have been born here, have lived here a very long time, that they just want Texas to remain Texas. There's a reason they live here and love it here and don't want to move. It's hot. It's very hot. It's August. It's hot. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, where is everybody? Oh, I know. No one's out here because it's triple-digit weather. Usually summer is my favorite season because I love the outdoors. I love swimming. I love going on the boat. I love the summer, but not this year. We've had 45 days of 100-degree plus weather. It's not fun. In fact, it's so not fun. We've just stayed indoors for the last 45 days. We are experiencing 98-degree temperature today, and it's like a cool front to us. We're so excited about this 98-degree weather. Now listen, it's the average high in Texas and Dallas-Fort Worth is 96 in the summer. That's why I normally love summer, but this one is just excruciating. So if heat is you can't do, maybe Texas isn't right for you. Also, another thing we need to talk about are prices of housing. Prices have definitely gone up. We've had to kind of set some expectations for people moving here because when I started doing videos 3 and 4 years ago, the cost of living was super inexpensive here in Texas, and many people were moving here for the cost of living. While we still remain low, relatively speaking, throughout the nation, our cost of living is going up and the house prices are continuing to go up. So we peaked at May and June of 2022 and we did go down some areas 10 to 20% in house prices. But since we bottomed out there, we're starting to go back up again. We continue to have corporations moving to Texas and Dallas-Fort Worth, and our inventory is very low. I don't know, y'all. I'm concerned that they're going to continue going up. I know a lot of things are up in the air right now. We can't predict the future, but long term, when I think of long term, our prices are probably going to continue going up. Right now, the median home price is $437. It was, when I started doing videos, it was like $320, $360. So they've definitely gone up. So here's just my honest talk about moving to Texas, living in Texas. So if you want to move here after all this, or if you have questions, email me. I can help answer your questions about moving to Texas. And if you want to get started or you need help finding a community that fits your culture, your desires, then click the link below and fill out the Dream Home questionnaire and schedule a one-on-one Zoom consultation. We look forward to seeing you.